Okay, so how do you make an espresso at Emotion? Here's the first stage of it, which is to grind the coffee properly. So this is the scale. You turn it on by clicking the button over here, and you push the button once to tare it so that it zeroes out to this cup. And this cup goes with the niche grinder, so that's the first stage. You want to go put exactly 19 grams in the cup. So 19.3 grams, good enough. And then you adjust the the grind dial. See this little dot here? This dot, that is the where you want to set the grind to. And if you're doing filtered, you bring it over here somewhere for filtered coffee. But for espresso, you want to dial it in here. And because we're controlling the weight of the beans and always using roughly 19 grams, this is where you can play with getting the right grind so you get the right extraction. So I'm going to do this is 10 over here and 20. I'm going to do I guess that's 16. Say 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to do 17 as this grind, and we'll see how the 17 goes. So we put the coffee in the top, close this, put the little cup underneath, and then turn it on. We'll go over here and get the portafilter. Grinding away. This is also a good time to get the milk. And the milk is over in here. Now the next part is getting the coffee from this little cup into the portafilter. So it's pretty easy. You just turn the portafilter upside down, flip it over, tap on the top, and we've spilled it all over the counter. But in any case, this is the really key thing, is using your finger to shape the grinds into the portafilter, and you want to use your finger to kind of move the grinds back and forth. And what this is doing is distributing what are called the fines, which are the grinds of the coffee. You want to distribute those so they're really even, and they you don't want coarser grinds on one side and fine grinds on this side. You want the grinds distributed as evenly as possible. And this little technique of shaping it with your finger is actually a very accepted technique for this part of the process. Now we're gonna put 30 pounds of pressure on this with a little tamper. So to do that, you need to put this part of the portafilter against the edge of the table, and you want the little pouring area to not be on the table. And then you put the tamper in and give 30 pounds of pressure. What is 30 pounds of pressure? You could actually get a scale and feel it, but it's kind of like the amount of pressure that you would say turn a lid of a jar to seal it tight. It's kind of it's not crazy amount of pressure, but it's still a fair amount of pressure. And then you spin it at the end to polish it, and then I just kind of blow off any of the additional stuff. You always want to have the frothing cup in the refrigerator, not the freezer. Always the refrigerator. It should never be stored on top of the espresso machine like that cup over there is. It should always be in the refrigerator. And you pour in just that's about enough for one cappuccino. You don't want too much milk because you don't want to waste the milk. And so it should be well below, the level of the milk should be well below the angle of the spout. The next part of the process is putting the portafilter back into the espresso machine. And if you notice, it comes out at a slight angle. It's not perpendicular to the machine. You put it in and tighten it up like that. Get a cup from the top that's preheated. This is really important. The portafilter itself should live inside the machine when it's not in use so that it stays warm, and the cup should be warm. You want all these pieces to be warm, and that actually makes a pretty big difference. So you want the portafilter to be warm when you put the coffee grounds into it, and you want the cup itself to be warm by sitting up on top of the machine. It stays warm. And now we're gonna just do the extraction. So the important part of this is that it should take 20 seconds. So 20 seconds to get a double shot, and if it's more or less than 20 seconds, then you need to adjust your grind. So let's give it a shot. 20 seconds, go. And it's 20 seconds from when you start to see the coffee appear. And I can already tell that this is a little bit, so it should be about now, it should be the proper extraction, and it's still not. So the grind is too fine, and we need to adjust the grind so it's a little coarser. So it's still not a full double shot extraction yet, but here it is now. So that took 40 seconds instead of 20 seconds. So back on the espresso machine, on the espresso grinder here, you want to make it a little coarser. So I think I would go to 20 and see how that goes. And it depends on the beans. The beans are dramatically, have a dramatic effect on what you need to set the grind to. It also depends on the age of the beans. These are older beans, these are from 3/15/2022, so they're a bit older, but you want to keep dialing this in, and that's why it's so important to have the scale, so you can do exactly 19 grams each time. And when you pour it in and set the grind, you can set the grind so that when you get back over here, you get the proper extraction. So now we're going to steam the milk. Okay, steaming milk. Now this is going to be almost impossible to do one-handed, but I'm going to give it a shot. So first you clear the wand of any water, and then enter the milk down in here somewhere, so that you want the milk to spin clockwise as it's steaming, and it's spinning clockwise really fast, and that makes micro bubbles, and the micro bubbles are what give you a nice delicious texture in the cappuccino. So I'm going to just hang this foam over here like that and do the steaming. And this goes really fast because this machine is crazy powerful. So here it goes. You want that sound? See how it's spinning? You want that spinning, and you want to hear that sound, and then it's done. This is so freaking fast. Then you tap it like that and spin it, and that conditions the milk, so you get rid of the air bubbles. You don't want those frothy dishwasher type bubbles like from dish soap. You want almost like wet paint, kind of thick and viscous, and micro bubbles. Now we're gonna do the pour here. We're gonna just pour at the top and just kind of rotate it back and forth, and then do a little splash at the end, and that gives you that gorgeous look of the pattern, you know, that we all know from fancy cappuccino places. So there you go. This is how to make a cappuccino at Emotion Studios. Cheers. Pretty damn good.